Every second you hesitate, the market's hidden storm grows stronger, ready to rip apart everything you've built. The truth is brutal. Markets don't wait for you to catch up. They crash fast. They wreck portfolios. And the pain? It's not just numbers. It's your dreams, your vision, your hard-earned reputation crumbling in front of you. You know this feeling. The gut-wrenching panic when everything shifts, when signals blur, and you start doubting every choice you made. That helpless rage. Why wasn't the warning louder? Why wasn't the crash predicted before it hit full force? The brutal reality is this. Most investors are blind to the earliest whispers of a collapse. They wait too long, trust the wrong charts, or drown in noise while the real story unfolds under the surface. But here's the raw edge. Hedge funds don't rely on guesswork or wishful thinking. They capture the market's secret heartbeat before anyone else smells smoke. They don't wait for the sirens. They listen to the subtle fractures forming in the data, the hidden cracks in sentiment, the shifts buried in credit spreads, and liquidity flows that most overlook. You want to know how? First, dump the conventional. Forget chasing the headlines or those late-breaking analyst calls. Step into the shadows. Dig deep into the data sources they trust but won't advertise. Watch the changes in volatility skew. Observe unusual derivative pricing. It's a silent scream from the market's underbelly. When volatility and out of the money put options surges while the broader VIX barely twitches, think alarm bells. That's hedge fund language for panic lurking beneath calm waters. Now, zero in on liquidity metrics. Hedge funds obsess over this. When market liquidity dries up, it's the breathable air leaving the lungs of the financial system. When spreads widen in credit markets, that's not noise. It's a red flag screaming danger. Institutional money movers watch these flows like hawks. You want to predict crashes? You must master these signals, dissect them daily, hour by hour. Don't just observe. Understand the forces pushing those indicators. Be ruthless. Hedge funds pair quantitative signals with narrative analysis. They're hunting the news cycles that will trigger the panic long before the crowd reacts. They monitor political risks, economic data misses, corporate earnings surprises that can shatter confidence in an instant. Your job? Build that same bulletproof radar. And here's where it's gritty. Hedge funds never rely on a single indicator. They create a mosaic, a relentless, integrated view of risk. They track correlations breaking down between assets, volatility clustering, credit stress, investor positioning in futures and options markets. If you see stocks rally, but the junk bond market screaming distress, that divergence isn't a fluke. It's a fault line. You must train yourself to read these cracks, not to fear them, but to act. When you sense those fractures intensify, slash your exposure to vulnerability. Hedge funds shift fast. They raise cash, hedge risk, and exploit the panic as it unfolds. You have to do the same. This means cutting your ego, ignoring the noise of complacency, and trusting cold data over hopeful narratives. This is your brutal command. Stop hoping for normal conditions. Start mapping out crash scenarios using every tool at your disposal. Data analytics, sentiment trackers, market microstructure insights. Build models that stress test your assumptions under extreme conditions. Hunt for the highest risk points in your portfolio and isolate them like bombs ready to explode. This readiness isn't just preservation, it's your offensive weapon. When the storm hits, you don't just survive, you dominate. Remember, this journey isn't for the comfortable or the complacent. It's for the few who refuse to become victims of the system's illusions. Those who transcend borders, biases, and outdated rules. If silence is gnawing at you, telling you to rise beyond every limitation, then this is your moment. Embrace those insights. Sharpen your edge. The market's invisible signals are screaming, and only those fierce enough to listen and act will rise when others fall. This isn't just strategy. It's survival. Your future depends on mastering it now.